Hi friends, back again. I am so excited to spend today with you again. We are going to go ahead and take a look at time again, but we're digging in a little deeper today. And so let me get this ready for you. Again, we're starting with that word problem, okay? So get that paper ready. Just as we would every day, we're taking a look at those word problems. So if you need to, pause this video to grab your your paper and your pencil. All right, Miss Briles is decorating her bulletin board. The bulletin board is 7 feet by 9 feet. She wants to place a purple border around the edge. How much border will she need? She also wants to place new yellow fabric to cover the whole board. How much fabric should she purchase? Okay, border is that stuff that you might see on teachers' things they put out on the hallway or maybe in their classrooms that goes around the outside. So it's just just goes around the outside of their bulletin board, okay? So I want you to pause the video, go ahead and solve this, and then come back and we'll talk, just like we have the past couple days. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this. You should have two answers. You should have how much border will she need, and you should also have how much fabric should she purchase, because there's two questions. So if you don't have those two answers, pause this video again, go ahead and solve for both of those, and then we'll check. All right, so here's some work. You should have those two problems, or the two answers, because the two steps, here's your first one. Here's the second statement, and the answer down here is 63 feet of fabric. Okay, you may have solved it a different way, and that's okay. Different strategies are fine. But again, the border is just the outside, so that's the perimeter. And then the fabric covers all of it, so that's your area. Okay? Like the grass of your yard is the area, but like a fence around your yard, if you have a fence on the outside, that's your perimeter. Okay? That's kind of like a bulletin board with border or the fabric, things like that. Okay? So you can pause this if you need to check your work. But you could have used many different strategies, but this is just one strategy that you could have used, okay? All right, today we're digging into time, but we're talking to the nearest minute. We've been focusing lately on just to the nearest, like to the fives, right? So the big numbers, counting by fives, things like that. Today we're gonna look a little deeper, okay? So you're gonna pause this video. I want you to go to that link number 1, lesson 13, link number 1. You're gonna watch a video about telling time to the nearest minute, okay? Once you're done with that video, I want you to come right back because we're going to do a little learning together, okay? So come right back after you're done with that video. Again, it's called Lesson 13, Link 1, okay? And come right back here after you're done. All right, so you should have watched link number 1 for Lesson 13, okay? And we're going to take a look at some nearest minute stuff, okay? So I want you to take a look at this clock, all right? Some things that are different than the clocks we've looked at before. I see a red hand and I see a blue hand. Okay, those are some different things than the clocks we've looked at before. All right. Still see an hour hand. How can you know that it's an hour hand? Remember the size. The hour hand is a small. The minute hand's your long hand. Okay. Even though they're different colors, that's still okay. All right. Take a look at your hour. Can you identify the hour on this clock? What is the hour? How do you know? How do you know that's the hour? Okay, you should have said the hour is 1, and it's because that hour hand is pointed at that 1, okay? That hour hand is the short hand, and it's pointed at that 1. We know the hour is 1, okay? Now, we look at our minute hand, okay? It's not pointed at one of the big numbers anymore, okay? It's pointed at those little dashes there. And from the video, you should have noticed that we use our big numbers to help us. Those are kind of our guiding numbers, okay? We know a lot about those 5 by 5s because we focused 2 days on that. But now, we got to use the little dashes in between. All right, so I'm going to start from the top of my clock. Okay, I'm going to count by 5s until I get close to it. Okay, so here I go, 5, 10, 15. Now I'm close to it. Okay, so I'm going to stop. So I'm at 15 right now because that 3 symbolizes 15. Now I got to count the little dashes, okay, till I get to where the arrow is pointed at, all right? But now I don't count by 5s anymore. I got to count by 1s, okay? So now instead of counting 15, 20, 25, I have to count up by 1s, all right? So I had 5, 10, 15. Now I go 16, and that's where my arrow is. So my time, this clock is showing an hour of 1 and my minute of 16. So this clock is showing 1:16, okay? Take a look at this clock. Look at your hour hand. Remember what we've talked about with our hour hands. If our hour is in between 2, what is that? Do we go forward? Do we skip ahead? Do we go backwards? How do you know? What about the minutes? What do you know about the minutes? Use what you know about the 6. How can that help you? Let's focus on the hour first. If our hour is between the 7 and the 8, are we going to skip ahead to 8 o'clock or are we going to go back to 7? Yeah, we're going to go back to 7 because it's not yet 8 o'clock, right? It's still 7 o'clock, okay? So our hour is 7. Let's look at our minute hand. I notice, well, I know that if it were directly at the 6, we know that that's halfway, right? Half past. And that would be halfway, so 30. But it's going to be more than 30, okay? But I don't count by 5s anymore. I count 1 more, okay? So 5, 1 more is, so I'm up at 30. Now I'm 1 more is 31, okay? So my hour is 7, then I'm 31. So 7:31, okay? Take a look at this one. Try to do it on your own. Okay, if you're not ready, you can pause this video. What if I said, I thought this clock shows 3:58. What am I not understanding? What if I thought this clock showed 3:58? What am I not understanding? Maybe if there's someone around you and you want to talk about this with them. What if I said this clock was 3:58? What am I not understanding? I'm not understanding the hour. Okay, look at this hour hand. If it's in between 2 and 3, is it 3 o'clock yet? No, it's not 3 o'clock yet. So it's still 2 o'clock. So I have to realize that my time is still 2 o'clock. Okay, so my hour is 2 o'clock. Now look at my minutes. Okay, I know 9 is 45. So if I go 5 more is 50, then 55. I'm close. I got to go by 1s now. 56, 57, 58. Okay, so my minutes is 58. All right. Now, you are going to pause this video in just a second. You're going to go look at that link number 2. This is a site for you to practice telling time to the nearest minute. Okay, there's a couple questions on there that you can go ahead and practice telling time on there. Okay, when you're done going through a couple of those questions, I want you to come back to me, and I'm going to go through a couple other resources for you. And so go practice a little bit and then come right back to me. So pause this, go do that, come back to me. All right, hopefully that went well for you. Practiced a couple examples. Today, the last thing I want to show you and talk to you about is you can go back to any of the links from the past 2 days on that website and do any of the review activities from time. Okay, so from lesson 11 or lesson 12, you can do any of those review links to work on time. Okay, so if you want some activities for math to work on, those are some great things for you to do. All right, we've been working on today reviewing time to the nearest minute. All right, so we're going to work on this again tomorrow. So again, look at some clocks around you at the house. Talk about telling time with your families, brothers and sisters around you. Look at some clocks, be able to justify them. Draw some clocks on some papers around you. Defend what time it is, things like that. Talk about those with people around you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and can't wait to see you guys tomorrow.